Okay, so this car and track combination is fraught with danger. There's great racing to be had, but you're never far away from disaster. Welcome along everybody to Okayama in the Formula 4 on iRacing, and this is a very stressful race indeed. We're lining up in P10 of a 24 car grid, so slap bang in the middle of the field. The red lights are on, we're getting ready for the green, and we will be underway then, and we get away reasonably well. It looks as if one of the drivers behind me started from pit lane. Maybe that will prove to be a sensible choice as we barrel into T1. Very tricky medium speed corner. On cold tyres, you can feel the car sliding all the way through this opening set of corners, so you've just got to be very measured. Try not to light up the rear tyres and loop the car, and amazingly it looks like everybody has gotten through cleanly so far, and in fact we might have an opportunity around the outside of Eric Steen up ahead. He takes the inside line. I've got to watch for Emilio Pradera behind as well. But as it happens, we just end up in the same positions on the exit of the corner that we entered it. We managed to get through safely. I'm shaping to the inside, not really to make a pass, but just to give myself some visibility heading into the hairpin. And that's exactly why you can see off to the left-hand side there, Manuel Herbert off into the gravel, and he will be right the way back towards the end of the field now, having come together with another driver into that corner. Thankfully, we didn't get caught up in any of that. Let's just take a quick look back then, and yes, you can see the driver on the inside locking up, slamming into the side of the Porsche driver, and that was him into the gravel trap. We rejoin then at the end of lap 1, and you can see the gap up to Steen ahead is 0.4 seconds, so still very closely bunched together the field here. Cars side by side up ahead as well, so again it is just about trying to spot any opportunities, but really being alert to the fact that this is probably the most dangerous part of the race, where cars are jockeying for position. The tyres still aren't up to temperature, and anything can go wrong very, very quickly as we get onto the brakes, into third gear, through the swooping hairpin and onto the back straight then, where we want to tuck into the draft of Steen up ahead. But again, just keeping an eye far up the road to see what's going on up ahead of us as the cars are coming to the inside of the track, weaving back and forward, and you'll see the puff of tyre smoke as one driver is off onto the infield. He's able to keep control of the car, but the concertina effect put me onto the inside line for the next corner. I've got Pradera around my outside. I have to concede the position, and it is costing me time all the way through the double left-hander there because I was offline, and now I'm coming under pressure from Walsh behind. I take to the inside line to cover off any idea that he might have of sticking his nose into that corner, and I'm able to hold that position, but it is very frantic at this stage of the race, and you can see how quickly incidents can sort of multiply when you're having to take avoiding action and other drivers up ahead slow down unexpectedly. We fast forward then onto lap 3, and still there is less than a second separating a whole gaggle of cars as we're into each other's slipstream down the back straight once again, heading into the hairpin. And as we get into the braking zone, look in the rearview mirror, here comes Walsh down my inside. I'm not able to defend it in time. There is another puff of smoke up ahead though. I'm a little bit worried something's happened, and yes, there's a big collision on my inside. Walsh is taken out of the race. Let's look at it from his vantage point then on replay. You can see he makes a very nice move down the inside. We afford each other space, but then there's a rejoiner on the right hand side of the track. That is ridiculous, quite frankly. What on earth this driver is thinking of, coming back onto a live track, a crossways, as the traffic is approaching. That is ridiculous, and really feel sorry for Walsh in that one. We rejoin then on lap 5, and I've been a little bit raggedy over the course of the next couple of laps. I've lost touch just a little bit with the drivers up ahead because I wasn't in their slipstream, and now we're coming under pressure from the driver behind into the hairpin once again. I haven't found my pace so far in this race, and now we're under pressure. I'm going to try and defend down the inside once again, but this is costing me all sorts of time being offline here, and it's actually making me vulnerable to another pass from behind. And yes, you can see the driver on the outside there. I'm going to lose 2 positions by the looks of it. Try and hold it on the inside, but I've understeered horribly. Very nearly catch him on the outside of the corner, and now I'm under attack again from Herbert, who we saw go off at T1 on lap 1. No, we come together. There was a collision as we came to the exit of the corner, and crew chief tells me that I've got some damage. This race is unravelling very, very quickly, and I need to get up to speed. Here we go then on replay, losing 3 positions in the course of half a lap. Essentially all came down to making a bit of a poor decision in looking to defend this one. It kept me offline, which gave the advantage to the drivers behind, and I was very unsettled by this point, with cars swarming all over my rear wing. I tried to keep it safe and predictable, but I locked up there, and that was just pure luck that I didn't end up taking out the driver on the outside there. But then let's have a look at this collision as we come to the exit of the corner. Herbert, oh, he does sort of move across really. I think it was a racing incident and maybe a little bit of netcode involved there too. Thankfully, as we rejoin on lap 7, I've been able to keep in touch with the 2 drivers up ahead, and it doesn't look as if I've got significant damage, and in fact I didn't even get a 1x for that collision, so hopefully we're able to carry on. But Herbert's made another mistake. He slid it through the hairpin. That will be 1 position back, and actually it will put me onto the rear wing of the driver up ahead as well. We might be able to get back into the top 10, having slipped down into 12th position. Here we go then, we're down the inside, heavy braking into the hairpin, get it down into 2nd gear, got to keep it nice and tight here, but look at that, he's going to hold it around my outside. He'll have the inside for the next corner, and we're under pressure again. This set of corners is a nightmare to race through, but we're able this time to hold it around the outside and at least not lose a position, even though we failed to gain one. On to lap 8 then, and we're putting pressure on Zitka to try and get back up into the top 10, but actually Josh Freed has spun it, coming around the right-hander here. Let's see it on replay, and he just loops it under no real pressure. But this, by the way, is how you do a sensible rejoin. Fair play to Freed. He must have been annoyed in the cockpit, but he kept his composure and he was able to resume racing. Speaking of racing, we're on to lap 9 now, and we're still piling on the pressure onto Thomas Zitka, and we are both trying to catch up to the gaggle of cars up ahead. Pradera, Avalon and Steen and Hyman. They're locked in a battle, and they're potentially slowing each other down as I show to the inside. Really not close enough to make a move there, but just trying to unsettle Zitka into a mistake. But it wouldn't be until lap 12 that finally this battle spilled over into some dramatic action, and you can see we have finally caught up with the group of cars up ahead who've been battling intensely, and now there can only be a couple of laps left in this race as we round the final corners here, and I am going to get a really good exit onto the start-finish straight. It's going to give me a run on Zitka at last, and a genuine overtaking opportunity. I'm going to shape to the inside. It's a difficult corner to execute a pass because it's medium speed. I'm going to get into the apex, hold this line, not drift out wide into Zitka, but he has kept his nose alongside me. He'll have the inside line for the next corner. There you go, you can see he drifts back ahead, but I've got better momentum coming out of the corner, so we're going to be side by side again. I'm brave and risk him coming across to the left hand side. I'm going to be on the outside though of the hairpin. Once again then, we're going to be side by side through the corner and onto the back straight. He looks like he's got the advantage out of the corner, but I get better drive, so I'm going to have a nose ahead heading into the tight hairpin at the end of the straight. But look up ahead, there is real hard racing going on between the 3 cars up ahead of me here. Zitka's down my inside, and I'm not going to be able to hold the position, and in fact I get out of the accelerator because I don't want a compromised line through this corner. I've learned my lesson from earlier on in the race, so a reminder that despite everything that's gone on in this race so far, we started in 10th, we're still in 10th, but up the road we can see 6th place in this race, so there is everything to play for as we head into the very final stages of the race. Look at the side-by-side action up ahead. The cars concertinaing together. You could throw a blanket over all of us. I have no idea how this is going to finish. Heading into the final lap of the race, we get hard on the brakes there, and we're able to get a better run as there's contact between Pradera and Zitka. I'm going to have the inside line. We're 3 wide as we come across the start-finish line with just 1 lap to go. I just don't know how this is going to end heading into T1. We're able to hold a tight line. I'm very, very tense in the car here. We're side by side with Zitka. Pradera has backed out of it, but Zitka is going to have the inside line once again. Pradera looking to take advantage of any opportunities. Really unlucky for him that he's ended up dropping back, because I think there was contact between him and Zitka heading into the last corner. Zitka defends on the inside. I'm going to have to take to the outside line. Pradera is in close attention too as we're scrapping away here for what will be P7. So we've gained an extra position somewhere there. We'll take a look at that shortly, but I'm in the slipstream here of Zitka. He covers just a little bit to the inside, so I swoop back to the racing line. There's no way I'm going to get around the outside, so I'm just really trying to pressure Thomas Zitka into a mistake here, but he holds the line very, very well. Pradera then is trying to put as much pressure on as he can behind me, but actually he's dropped back just a little. That gives us time then to see how we've managed to gain an extra position, and it's Ruiz up ahead. Oh, and he's had a massive accident into the pit wall. He drops out of the top 10 then, and that gave us an extra position. It means I'm now running in 8th position, chasing down Zitka in 7th, but there's only 2 corners to go in this lap. Unless Zitka makes a big mistake here, we're going to have to settle for P8. But wow, what a P8. We've only gained 2 positions, but it feels like we've been trading positions all race long as we come down to see the checkered flag. What a race. I mean, some fantastic side-by-side action, but this is what was causing it. And actually, it's bad behaviour from a driver at the head of this pack. Weaving around, that allowed Zitka and myself to catch up to the pack. But honestly, if you're in a sim race, don't do this. It's only the skill of other drivers that have stopped a huge collision there. It's unsportsmanlike, and we don't need to see it on the sim racing track. It did inadvertently cause this very dramatic finish to the race, where 4 cars were basically going in side by side into the final corner. Here we go then down the start finish straight, a replay of us going 3 wide with Zitka and Pradera. I'm on the inside here. I'm really nervous that someone's going to pinch me to the apex, but actually we managed to get through unscathed. All credit to the other drivers in this. It would have been the easiest thing in the world, particularly for Pradera, who must have been frustrated at the actions of that driver up ahead. So here's the final classified results, and we come home in P8, a decent haul of championship points. A very fraught and danger-filled combination, this one, but there is good racing to be had if you're lucky enough to be around drivers who can race side by side through the tricky technical sections of this track. I hope you've enjoyed the race. If you have, check out this one on screen now. It's another belter.